movie trailers. They're not as prominent and as popular as they used to be. I remember Avengers Endgame, which I know it's kind of unfair to compare Avengers Endgame to, let's see, Avengers Endgame trailer, 158 million views. And there's another one that's got 109, 30 million, 22 million. And then Avengers Infinity War, 262 million. And then, let's see, Deadpool 3 trailer, 29 million. Oh, 30 million. Joker, Folie à Deux. Which, the fact that Joker got more views than Deadpool? That's kind of crazy. I guess it just shows you the level of faith that people have lost in Marvel versus Warner Brothers.
So that's my whole thing. I'm like, yeah, I know it's Ryan Reynolds and it's another Deadpool film, but like, do I really have any faith in Disney to allow this to be anything good at this point?
At this point, once again, I have lost complete faith in Disney as a creative force. I mean,
the only reason I have a tiny amount of faith in it is because of Ryan Reynolds.
Well, yeah. Well, no, Ryan Reynolds behind the scenes apparently has been fighting tooth and nail to stop these bullshit reshoots because apparently Disney executives are trying to force this big massive oversteer into inclusivity, and Ryan Reynolds is just like, it's Deadpool. It's
already inclusive.
It's Deadpool. What are you talking about?
It's already got a bunch of characters that are like fucking LGBT, different races.
And Deadpool himself,
it's already inclusive.
As it's been said before, as Deadpool said before, there's not a being alive that can comprehend my sexual preference. And it's like, and here's the thing, even if it didn't have all that, if the story worked, if it was popular enough for people to go watch it, here's the thing, not everything has to be inclusive to the point of where it's nauseating and to where it takes away from the creativity of the overall production. If over-inclusivity leads to loss of creativity, then what's the point of it? What's the point of it?
It's literally tokenism at that point.
Yes, it is. It's like, oh, you're gonna, for instance, I never complained once about Zazie Beetz being cast as Domino. Do you know why? Because Domino in the comics in the past has been black. And not only that, but Zazie Beetz is a talented actress. And she killed it as Domino. Her deadpan reactions whenever something happened that she didn't expect, but then she realized, oh yeah, this happened because I'm lucky. Boom! Perfect! It worked so good! Also, the fact that Negasonic Teenage Warhead, yes, you have to say that, I said that a little fast, so I will say it slower, so that, YouTube's algorithm doesn't basically scalp us. Negasonic, no, it's not any better, even slow, but...
Add your attention to it. So.
But, okay. So, NTW, I'll just call her that. Brianna Hildebrand, that's the actress that plays Warhead. So, the fact that, there was no, scuff about, Wade not giving a crap about, her relationship with, what's her name? The other actress, I can't remember. But, yeah, the fact that Wade was just he didn't care. He never cared. It's this is my girlfriend. He's like, so? I don't care. That's perfect. It's you don't have to, just mash in as much as you can to try and, pretend you give a shit about, inclusivity. Because Disney, you've already proven you don't give a fuck. I mean, and honestly, it's, you need to just focus on making money and keeping your business in business so that you can keep paying the employees that you grossly underpay and stop giving Kathleen Kennedy millions upon millions upon millions of dollars to keep ruining franchises, but yet you're not going to listen. No, instead, you're committed to the cause. You're committed to trying to, absolutely destroy all semblance of just, creativity and amazingness that exists.
I really feel like the people in charge of Disney are just people that hate Disney.
I would say that too.
And therefore, like, they're purposefully sabotaging it from within.
Oh, Bob Iger. I'm pretty sure Bob Iger, just came back to Disney just so he could kill it. I'm convinced of that at this point. I don't think... that's literally what I think. But, anywho, the Nostalgia Critic, or Doug Walker, and I guess he's going more than his, natural, self, Doug Walker, released a video called, Is YouTube Killing Trailers? This was recommended on our Discord, so we decided to give it a shot. Yeah, there's so many Nostalgia Critic videos, or Doug Walker videos, this close together. Ain't it something? So anyway, let's check it out, and let's see what Doug's got to say. Here we go.
Something I've talked a lot about on not only this channel, but just in general in everyday life is, how much I like commercials. You've seen me do specials on Nostalgia Critic talking about commercials. I think the idea of taking something that is so not creative, kind of like just selling something to you, hey, buy this product, and that's it, and making it so creative and so imaginative, I think is really, really cool. And I love how sometimes you forget you're watching a commercial for something, and what's often lumped in there for me as well, maybe even sometimes even more than what I enjoy about commercials, is what I enjoy about trailers, movie trailers. I was one of those strange kids that loved watching trailers before a movie because I never knew what was coming, what was going to be the new hot thing to watch.
Yeah.
And there was a great art to editing a trailer. How long are the edits? How short are the edits? The kind of music you put in? How much can you get an audience hyped up? Do you surprise the audience? What do you do for a teaser? How much do you show in a teaser? There is so much that goes into it. And I found out, years later, honestly through YouTube, that a lot of our people get excited for trailers too. YouTube kind of showed there's a whole audience out there that will just watch a trailer over and over and over. And I still kind of am one of those people. There's still great trailers to terrible films, and vice versa.
Yes.
There's, bad trailers to really good films. Pixar has a lot of bad trailers for really good films, and at the same time, I feel like we're losing something when we went more to YouTube in terms of watching our trailers. And I feel like what's really missing, and some people say just in terms of streaming and seeing movies in general, you're missing that communal aspect of experiencing something together. Now, that's not to say you can't do reaction videos and stuff like that. There totally are reactions, and people will pause it and give the reactions and everything, but it's
sometimes too much. Sorry about that. Not sorry.
very, very different from how it is when you first see a trailer on the big screen. I know it's gonna sound weird, but some of my favorite memories of being in a movie theater is just the experience of seeing a trailer with a group of people for a first time. Like I said, there's some movies that have really good trailers, but not the best movies, and the reason they're so let down by them half the time is because the trailer was so good. And something that we can't really get right now by watching these on YouTube is the surprise trailer, the one that kind of tricks you.
Yeah, that's true. And he's talking about the communal aspect of watching a trailer with a group of people. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. My favorite moment, I watched Star Wars Episode 2 in theaters. I think it was, I can't remember, Episode 2 or Episode 3. I think it was Episode 2. I remember watching it in theaters, and the trailer for Mr. and Mrs. Smith came up, and it was the Foxy Lady one, where in the beginning you see Angelina Jolie walking into the hotel room, and she has on like a trench coat and everything. She takes off her trench coat. She's got on like a dominatrix like tube top. And I remember like her boobs were popping out the top of it. My friend Jesse in the middle of it, like when that happened, stood up in the middle of the theater and just yelled, "Titties!" The whole theater just died laughing. And the whole theater, as a matter of fact, the theater was laughing so much, most of the people missed the trailer. Because it was so funny. It was so natural and so funny. And the thing is, I didn't care that I missed the trailer.
Don't think you could get away with that anymore.
That's true. I don't think so.
It's everybody's, sense of humor is kind of, gotten to where, yeah, we've heard a lot of titty jokes and jokes about everything else that's crass humor,
Or you just get people nowadays who'd be offended.
It's like yeah, that too, but it's just like everybody's desensitized, and it would just be kind of like, shut up. Like, you know what I mean?
I guess, but at the same time, if it hit... That's the thing about comedic timing. If it hits right, then it hits. But if it doesn't, hey, move on. That's the thing. No sense in beating a dead horse. Comment to Doug's last video that we reacted to of his, the Wish video, which... Ugh.
I think the way they do game trailers now is really cool because they have like the people who happen to be at the event, like, and they have like their reaction recorded for it, so you kind of get that sense of like watching it with people, even if you're watching it on a video.
Well, I think one thing that they should do for like trailer release, this is what I think they should do for trailer releases. Whenever they release a trailer at a big event, sort of like Comic-Con. If they released the Deadpool trailer at Comic-Con, I would have done an audience reaction to it. Like that way, side by side with it, so that way you could basically experience the literal first time it was ever shown to a group of people. And I think that'd be a really cool way of experiencing it, not just for the first time, but also for like a second viewing. It's like, did people react the same way that I did? Or did they react differently? Oh my gosh, these people screamed about this. What were they screaming about? Then you do research on it. It's like, oh my gosh, that's a callback to this. Or, oh my gosh, that's a callback to that. And there's so many different things that you can do to like change up the experience of doing trailers. My favorite trailer reveal, like in retrospect now, was God of War 2018. Because I remember the Sony event where they revealed it. I was sitting there and I was just saying to myself, what is this? Like, this looks like... Because this looks like something, for the... And then you see Atreus, like, playing with his toys, and then you see him go inside, and you hear this voice that's very gruff and very... And you're just like, man, who is that? Is that Christopher Judge? And then as soon as, like, Kratos steps into the light and it just says, I am hungry. And I was like, all of a sudden, just... Boom. The crowd blew up. Because they kept it a secret that they were working on a new God of War game, and the reveal and the gameplay demo went over so well with people that they were just so excited to see what was going to happen. And that feeling, I miss getting that feeling, because I'd love to do trailer reactions, like, because I know that there's a Nintendo event coming up in June that I'm very much interested in, because apparently they're going to be talking about the new like Nintendo system, and not only that, but they're also going to be talking about the next Metroid Prime, the next Metroid game.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Huh?
I'll believe it when I see it.
Well, it's Retro Studios, and they haven't disappointed since. I guarantee you they're wanting to wait. I guarantee you they're wanting to wait until they have something more concrete. But I remember the reaction I had to
like
Metroid
4
Dread.
years now.
I know. 4 years to start from scratch, which a lot of games have 5, sometimes 7 years. And they had to start from scratch because they threw away everything that Bandai Namco was working on, because Bandai Namco, their development was so shoddy. But anyway, back to this.
And one of my favorite trailers I've ever seen, I can just remember being so excited for this, even though the movie was awful, was the Super Mario Brothers movie back in 1993. When we first saw that trailer, we didn't know what it was at first. It looked like some sort of like Batman 89 style film. It looked intense, it looked dark, it looked gritty, and it created this whole crazy new world. And then as soon as they say the plumbers took it, Des Hopper goes, plumbers.
The plumbers took it. Plumbers.
In that weird accent he suddenly has for a second. And the title reveals in these bolted in letters, Super Mario Brothers. And you finally saw Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo in the red and green outfit. I mean, people lost their minds when they saw that. It worked. It grabbed us just immediately.
Yeah.
We were on board for what this bizarre interpretation of the material was. Because we never saw really a video game movie up to that point. And we were ready for something this bizarre. Because again, we thought, well, this is going to be like Michael Keaton as Batman. This is going to be like, just really dark and tough and everything. It was not that.
It was god-awful.
Quite a bad movie. But that excitement and that community joining together of just being like, what the hell is this? But being so excited for it as well
Yeah.
is something that you can certainly have a little bit on YouTube, but not in the same way with an audience. You can't really surprise people as well with a YouTube video or a YouTube trailer because the title is right there. It tells you what it's going to be. The teaser for Austin Powers 2 was really, really famous for a while.
Unless you're Nate and you show someone else without letting them see the title.
Well,
Which you did recently for me and Kate with Beetlejuice, and we were both just like, yo!
Yes.
We realized what was happening.
yes, that you see, I like doing that, and if I'm able to get out ahead of it before they're aware of what's going on or what's coming, then I love those moments. I love those moments of genuine surprise, and also not only that, but I also tried to do this like keeping the surprise for like the reveal near the end of the thing was when I did SCP The Offer. Originally, when I posted it, I just called it The Offer. I didn't have SCP in the title. I didn't have SCP in the tags. Nothing.
Because I talked to you about that idea beforehand, I was like, what if we release it without the SCP on it, see how well it can get, but we leave like the reveal that it's an SCP thing, like for like the end scene, you know?
Mm-hmm. And originally, it did okay. But then but here's the thing, because of how YouTube's algorithm works, as soon as I put SCP in the title, the metrics just went, and it sucks how that works.
We're really hoping that like people that liked SCP from our community would kind of stumble across it and check it out, and then be like, oh crap, and start showing people from the SCP community, but
yeah,
it didn't really happen. Like we let it run
I
for
shared
an
it.
experimental few weeks, and then we went ahead and just put the title in because we were like,
yeah,
it's not going anywhere without it.
It did okay in the beginning, and then as soon as we put SCP in the title of it, just like that, it was crazy. And then we released, and then a couple years later, we released, SCP, Class R, which, as far as I've seen, let me double check the numbers on that real quick. As far as I have seen, has done stupendously well. It currently has 30, let's see, come on, there we are, 35,500 views, and it has done really well. It's basically garnered us a lot of attention on the film channel, which if you all haven't seen it, you all want to check it out. Like, I wholeheartedly recommend y'all do that. But anyway, yeah, so
I was worried we would never hit more than like 1,000 or so I'm glad it's gotten more people to see it than that.
Well, I figured, here's the thing, I knew it would take time, but also getting the right people to react to it and talk about it. Sherman was the big one. As soon as Sherman got his hands on it, boom, it took off like a rocket. And then, of course, after that, people started going through the older reactions, Chicago reacts, Old Man reacts, Rick.
I just remembered something we forgot this week.
And then Struggle Nation. What's up?
The Animamedics.
That's right. We still got it. There's
a new one out.
There's 2 episodes out of it now. Episodes 3 and episode 4. We need to check those out again.
I think Animamedics has helped ours as well.
It has.
Kind of putting SCP in the algorithm a little bit as well.
Oh yeah, dude. And Andrea, the creator of that, has been super cool with us reacting to it, and also just like our criticisms of it and everything. He is not taking anything he's not taking anything against himself. He's taken everything in stride. He's taken all criticisms to heart and everything.
Well, dude, literally, one of the only criticisms I had of the first episode was of something that was also wrong with ours.
Yes,
so,
chroma key.
It's like our chroma key job is not perfect either. It's
not
easy to get perfect.
Especially with him walking through the door. The artifact.
And it wasn't even that I was like, this is bad. It was just like, yeah, I noticed that a little bit.
Yeah, and it's because it was a problem we had.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Because Phantom Menace was coming out around the same time, and they made it look like it was a trailer for Star Wars The Phantom Menace, and it fooled everybody. And that immediately got people excited and laughing, and oh man, I gotta see that, they got us good.
Then they pulled the same shit again with the ScoobyDoo movie. The first ScoobyDoo movie, you remember that? They made it look like it was a Batman movie trailer. Yeah, and there was hints of a new Batman movie being made around that time, which turned out to be Batman Begins. And everyone they saw, they were just like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was one of those people, because I remember seeing it in theaters, and as soon as I saw the ears, I was like, those aren't bad ears. And then all of a sudden you see Scooby turn and go, we got a movie. And I'm like, oh. He looked so terrible.
You can't do that on YouTube. It'll say teaser for Austin Powers The Spider Shagged Me, and it would immediately be ruined. Another good example, one didn't even have a title at the time, was the Cloverfield trailer. Actually, the first Nostalgia Critic video I did was on the Cloverfield trailer. Just talk about what is this? What did we just watch? And it was tricky to do, because how do you say what it is when the movie didn't have the title? Because that was the catch. The trailer was released, it had this found footage style to it where the lights all go out and there's some sort of giant monster or something and there's an explosion and suddenly the head of the Statue of Liberty just falls on the street, and that was it. They didn't give you a title, and everyone was like, what was that? Well, like, even as the...
That was the beginning of, like, true internet viral marketing. Because, say what you will about J.J. Abrams, the dude knows how to, like, draw on your attention. The other one that he did around that time as well was the Star Trek remake, or the Star Trek movies that J.J. Abrams did. Because I remember seeing that, and basically you're seeing like the construction of something going on, like this dude with like a welder's mask. He brings the welder's mask up, then he like looks up, and you're hearing in the background, it's just like Godspeed, John Glenn, and it's just like the eyes of the world now move into space. You know, like John F. Kennedy's speech, and then like it does like a big pan up, and then you hear Spock go, "Space, the final frontier." And then you see the numbers for the USS Enterprise, and you're just like, "Oh shit!"
Jean-Luc Picard, USS Enterprise.
Captain Jean-Luc. But that reveal was super good. Even though the films haven't been for everybody, the films have been a little here and there, you know, especially in retrospect. But still, that reveal of that for that trailer was masterful. And Cloverfield, same thing. I remember looking on YouTube the next day. It was 118, like the year it came out, 11808. I think that was like the only numbers that were shown, or the only thing that was shown at the end of the trailer. And people like typed it in and just be like 0118 20 like 2008 teaser trailer, and that's what popped up. I think those videos are still on the internet too, because it was people who took like copies of the digital files from movie theaters and put them online themselves, because they never officially released the trailer in on the internet. Viral marketing, man, it's a dead art. It's almost a dead art now.
The movie was starting, people were saying, well, what do you think that's going to be? What do you think that is? What do you blah, blah, blah? And again, if you do that on YouTube, you can't really say unknown movie or untitled movie. That's just not exciting, because you know you're not going to get the answer by the end. You're going to be like, well, it's going to try and do something. It's going to try and play some sort of trick on us. Another trailer for a film that is not very good, but the trailer just got a huge reaction. I just loved this reaction. I was seeing Jurassic Park, and everyone's so excited to see this movie, and an ad starts for the Flintstones movie. It's just this, rock bouncing on the lyrics, Flintstones, meet the Flintstones. Everybody thinks they already know what it's going to be. We had a Jetsons movie come out. It's going to be a cartoon. Obviously. It's going to be a cute little kids movie, whatever. But then as soon as it cut to John Goodman catching that bouncing rock and shouting yabba dabba doo, the audience erupted with laughter and confusion. Just, what? Because they know what that means. Like, wait, so you have to construct a whole bedrock? But you're going to do this with actual, puppet dinosaurs or CG dinosaurs? Like, wait, I mean, seen the CG dinosaurs yet? Because we're about to see Jurassic Park. I mean, is this even possible? Who's going to play who? And it's just this fun excitement, this fun release of laughter when something like that happens. Now,
I will say this, the casting for Fred and Barney, perfect. John Goodman and friggin' Rick Moranis. I mean, dude, and Rick Moranis nailed Barney's laugh so good. And John Goodman just like as Fred's like boisterous personality, he's like, "Now, Bonnie, what are you trying to pull, huh?" It was so good.
He even looks a lot like I would imagine Fred would look like if you took him out of a cartoon and made him into a person.
Yeah, tall, barrel-chested, big arms, and just like, the hair and everything. It was so good. And then Elizabeth Perkins as Wilma, pretty good casting. Then you cast Rosie O'Donnell as Betty? What?
Yeah, that one was a bit off.
It's like, look, Rosie O'Donnell at the time was very funny, and I know she was more of a name brand back then. But dude, there were so many great actresses that you could have got that would have fit the role so much better and would have played it just as good. But oh well, hey, we're sitting here talking about a movie that came out over 30 years ago, so...
Technically, you can do on YouTube. You can say the Flintstones movie and not give away who's in it, but most of the time they do. They have the celebrity around there who's in it. The Flintstones.
Or the thumbnail. The thumbnail gives it away. Dude, there are so many reveals that were done by those people oh, what the thumbnail? Oh, he's in the thumbnail. Obviously he's in this movie. It's like, pick your thumbnails right. If people studios, please just make the thumbnail not give shit away. Oh.
John Goodman. Grant could still be animated, kind of thing. It's still one of those things where you feel like you don't get as big a reaction as if when you're in a room full of people. Another one where I didn't know this movie was as big a deal until I saw the teaser with a crowd was The Dark Knight. Because I saw Batman Begins and I liked it. I didn't know there was such hype for the sequel until I saw that teaser where all it is, it's just the bat symbol being lit up and some lines from the movie, a little bit of Batman talking, a little bit of the Joker talking, and as soon as people could make out that image, they could make out the bat symbol, just people roared with excitement. Whoa, whoa! I mean, just started like I never saw an audience just erupt like this before, and that was the clear sign to me. Holy smokes! This is going to be a huge deal. I didn't know there was such a following from the last movie, even though I really liked the last movie. I didn't know it was this big. And so even through that, you can gauge how much excitement there is just from the common person, because I feel like if you go on a YouTube video, a trailer, and people can throw a lot of hate at it, they can throw a lot of love at it too, doesn't necessarily mean it's going to do well or it's going to do badly. It can just sort of capture a certain group of people that are either excited to really get on board with it or just really don't like the idea at all and just want to hate on it and stuff like that, where I feel like before you just kind of went with the vibe of the audience you were with, and that it felt right. Again, it was just something I was shared with everybody just in that room. And it's fun talking about the audience reaction as opposed to how many upvotes did it get, how many downvotes did it get. Not to say that isn't interesting or shouldn't be talked about, when a trailer gets a ton of views or maybe when it gets a ton of downvotes and stuff, it is interesting to see why. I'm not going to act like there's nothing to that. But like I said, because there's already an expectation of what you're about to see, it does suck out kind of what made it special. And it sucks out that communal feeling of okay, I'm in this group with these complete strangers. I might have a few friends with me or something like that, but most of the people in this room I do not know, and we can all come together to enjoy something and experience something for the first time, something we didn't know was going to be presented to us, whatever, a Dark Knight movie, a Flintstone movie, a Super Mario Brothers, Batman 89 style movie, kind of thing. And with that said, I'm sure a lot of people have heard this before when they were releasing Phantom Menace. They released it before a film called Meet Joe Black. And nobody wanted to see Meet Joe Black. Nobody had any interest in this movie. It didn't look awful. It just looked boring. But that was the only movie they were showing, the teaser for Phantom Menace. So people would literally line up to see this movie, watch the trailer, and almost as a joke, they would walk out immediately after.
Yeah, I heard about that. That was a thing. Because Meet Joe Black had its box office take inflated because of those people. Oh my gosh. And also Meet Joe Black, Death Takes a Holiday, there's parts of it that are okay, but for the most part it's a fairly boring film.
Okay, got what we want, and then they would just leave in, crowds. Like, the whole theater wasn't empty or anything. And honestly, I'm really curious what the people who just wanted to see the movie were thinking. They see an ad for Star Wars, and then just all these people leave. They're like, wow, is the trailer that bad? Kind of thing. What's going through their head. No, wait for the actual movie to come out. They'll get that reaction.
Oh.
On the third or fourth viewing, people say, hey, maybe this isn't that good. So there are these unique circumstances and these unique trailers that can get this unique reaction that we don't really have anymore, and I do kind of miss. I feel like film in general is always going to have this communal connection, where I definitely see why a lot of times it's more convenient to watch something at home, especially if you have like a big TV with a good sound system and everything. But you are going to miss
what we
that
got.
connection with other people, with just the common person watching something. Trailers can definitely change when you see them on a big screen. I saw the trailer for Furiosa recently. It looks fine. Looks good. I didn't really think one way or another. I like the last Mad Max movie, so follow-up looks good. But as soon as I saw it on the big screen, that was different. That was a totally new experience.
Well, yeah.
Titanic, the trailer for that, trailers are usually like, I don't know, a minute and a half to 2 minutes long, something like that. This was like 4 minutes. They knew we have to make this the motion picture event of the year, as everybody always calls their trailer, but they had to really, really mean it. So they took a lot of time and put a lot of effort into this trailer, which practically shows the whole film. I mean, that's how confident they were in this movie. It's like, we're just going to show you almost everything, and you're still going to see it. You're going to want to see it because this is a big screen movie. And that trailer is unbelievable on the big screen. They showed it everywhere, and every time it started, there was kind of this excitement, like you were going to watch a mini movie before the film starts. I mean, I feel like the best trailers really are kind of like mini movies, but there's a way to do it where you don't give away too much. Either a lot of people say they show too much in trailers, fair enough. Titanic definitely does that, but it knew it's going to rely on the spectacle. And that final shot in the trailer of just the ship going down and Jack and Rose, writing it down, this is it, we're going, oh God, all that stuff is such an amazing moment that whenever I see it on my phone or on TV or whatever, I still flashback to seeing that on the big screen, just that shot. And what's funny is that if you go to the trailer for it, YouTube has those things where you can see spots that are watched over and over, which again is cool. I'm not gonna act like this isn't pretty cool. That scene's not watched over and over. Maybe like when the music starts picking up, it'll sort of bump up there, and they'll sort of stay that constant bit where the adrenaline gets going, which is neat to see. But nobody rewatches that one bit, because on the small screen, it's neat, but it's nothing like on the big screen. When it's on the big screen, you are riding that damn ship down, and it is amazing to see. As soon as I saw that shot, I said, there's no way I can live in a world where I don't see this movie. I need to see the movie that has that shot. But I'm one of those people now that I don't show up that early to films now for a couple reasons. One, you can pick your own seats, which I love. I really love. I don't have to get to a movie early and look for seats and try to save seats. And like, they are picked. You can get them as soon as you get the tickets online, and even when you order them at the movie theater. Man, I love that. But at the same time, it doesn't give me a reason to show up early. It doesn't give me a reason to sit down and watch the trailers or the advertisements, unless I don't want to look for the seat in the dark, I guess. But the other reason is I've already seen these trailers. I've seen them on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I do get in this mindset of, well, I already saw them there. How's it going to change on the big screen? Even though I know it's going to change on the big screen. I know it's going to be different, but I'm telling myself, well, it's not worth that extra couple minutes. I could be getting some more work done. I mean, again, trailers go so long before the film. I mean, they can be anywhere from 10 to even 25 minutes, something like that.
Yeah.
Where I kind of go, I can get there a little late. Let me finish this up. Where there was something really cool about you were almost required to watch these trailers. Some you didn't even want to see. And you made the best of it somehow, because I loved when a bad trailer would play, and it would play a lot, and people would start to make fun of it. People would start to laugh at how lame it is, or whenever it would start again, you'd hear everybody go, "Ugh."
Yeah. That was my reaction whenever any of the Twilight movies were played, because that's the thing. Those movies were so popular, and the trailers were played so much at the movie theater that I was working at, that I was literally, every time I saw breaking down. I'm like, damn it! And it's like Twilight Saga, Eclipse. I'm like, just like, get it the fuck over with. Till we move on. And then the other thing that I always had at the theater was like little kids running out of the theater singing "Let It Go" ad nauseum. It was unbelievable how much like here I stand in the light of day, like, and then all of a sudden you'd hear across the way some random dude go, "The cold never bothered me anyway." It's like, fuck, you can't get away from it. Also, Doug's vein popping out of his neck right here is always like, it's like, oh.
You know, this moan of they're tired of seeing this trailer, and then people would kind of start to laugh through that, and then they knew, oh, everyone's on the same page here. Okay, we can just say whatever we want at the screen now.
Yes.
Everyone's on the same page. There's that fun communal element to seeing a movie and seeing a trailer that I feel like is slowly kind of being stripped away a little bit, and I feel like we're gonna be missing something if we keep doing that. And I say all this as a person who is totally aware I'm also a little bit a part of the problem. I like giving my reaction to trailers, certainly, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but I am definitely at the point where when I'm scrolling through YouTube and I see an advertisement for something, I'm doing this thing where I will watch kind of the quiet preview just on the little thumbnail before I even see if the trailer is worth it. Like, is this worth sound? Let me see. Let me skip ahead a little bit to see if it looks like there's anything of interest. And that is ridiculous. I totally acknowledge that's really dumb of me. I should just watch this and see what it has to offer, but it's kind of creating this environment where, because there's a preview for the preview, you can skip it a little bit more easily, and it kind of depends on what the thumbnail is, and will the thumbnail get your attention, and again, just will the preview with no sound get your attention on a very, very tiny screen like that. I totally acknowledge I'm part of the problem with that, but I'm also saying that's why
I do not use those that way. The only time I ever use the preview without sound is if I'm like sitting in a doctor's office and realize I forgot to bring my Switch or something. And then sometimes I will like look for a video that looks like I could glean the same amount of information from it by watching it without sound as I could with sound. Like something that's mostly talking and seems to have good subtitles.
Yeah.
And then I'll do that. I'll just let it play on that and I'll watch it that way. Without clicking
necessity.
on it.
Yeah.
Of you have to sit down and wait for the movie to start. It's playing before something else is kind of important. It can change your outlook on a film, which is not all to say there aren't times where you can see a trailer going really viral and seeing the different reactions to it. That's great, that's wonderful, but there is definitely that connection that's making with other people, or at least used to make with other people, that has changed, and in some ways a little for the better, but not much. I feel like it's more for the worse. It is taking out that community reaction, or at the very least changing it in a way where it feels less special. Now, my thought personally, which nobody's going to listen to and nobody's going to change, but I still like putting this out there just as an option, would be that you still show trailers on the big screen, and then maybe after the weekend, the trailer is shown in theaters.
That's what I would
release
do.
on YouTube, or honestly, release it the day the trailer drops on the big screen. I keep seeing trailers like on Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays and stuff like that. Why not release it on a Friday? So that way, if somebody's just doesn't get a chance to see it before going to the movie, or heck, somebody's just like, I'm gonna see a movie today, I'm not gonna go on YouTube. I don't want anything ruined about what the coming attraction is gonna have or anything like that. That's an option. But again, I do feel like I'm part of a minority on that. I feel like kind of...
No, I agree with that. I mean...
It's like, literally, I think they should show trailers in theaters for, like, at least a week. And then they should put them on YouTube.
I agree with that.
That way there's more chance for people to be surprised, and there could be gossip about, like, dude, like, the trailer for Blah is coming to YouTube soon because I saw it in theaters the other day. And it's like, no.
It's like, I can't wait. Like, dude, I know you don't have any interest in this movie, but I know you will love that trailer. I can't wait for you to freaking see it, dude.
this connection that people have when watching.
Like possibly even situations where people are like, you know what, I'm gonna go to the movies tomorrow because I gotta see that trailer before it drops on YouTube.
Trailers, not yet movies. I feel like people still, I know movies aren't always doing the best right now, but there are still things like, like Barbenheimer and stuff like that where people like to go and experience something with the crowd. Let's all, a bunch of strangers enjoy something together, whether it be scary, whether it be funny, whether it be bad, and we all just have a good time laughing at how bad it is. And I think people still are connected to that. I think people still like going to movies for that reason. But it is getting trickier with YouTube because while it is getting more attention and more people talking about it, the excitement I feel like does go down a little bit because you just can't get that same adrenaline as you do when you're watching something on the big screen for the first time with a group of strangers and everybody's on the same page.
It feels good. It feels like the last time I was in a movie theater and I felt this. I would say Dune Part 2, when I watched it in theaters, had that feeling to a certain degree. The biggest one was Avengers Endgame. When Endgame happened and the whole crowd...
Yeah, I've never been in anything else like Endgame.
Dude, I will never forget for the life of me. As soon as Cap stands up, alone, staring across the battlefield at Thanos and all of his compatriots at his back, and Cap stands alone, buckles down his shield, which has already been diced up because of Thanos' Thanos copter, but all of a sudden you hear, Cap, are you there? Cap, it's Sam. On your left. And then the portals start opening up, and as soon as that happens,
everybody in the theaters
it was like there was silence for a bit, and then as soon as the portal opens up and you see the Wakandans walk through with T'Challa up front leading the charge and him giving that nod to Steve, it was like the crowd then realized, oh my God, it's happening. Then more portals open up. Sam flies through, and then after that, here come the Guardians of the Galaxy. Here comes Spider-Man. Here comes all of the help, all of the wizards. Huang did his job and got all the wizards that Strange wanted to. And then all of a sudden,
like the fan service moment to end all fan service moments.
And the thing is, the music that was playing, the amazing score by Michael Giacchino, the build, the Portals theme, and then all of a sudden it gets that dun 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 da 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 da, and then everyone's standing there in line. Cap stands front and center. He's like, Avengers! Thor's Mjolnir. Assemble. And then the classic Avengers theme, da 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 da, and then the battle charge is I've never been in a crowd so alive and just so filled with just those moments, man.
Because we were all just whenever
yeah!
The whole theater cheers at that. I've never been in a theater that cheered at a fucking movie.
Yeah, that level.
It seems like ass backwards because there's no one there to hear your cheers, other than everyone else in the theater. But the movie just got everybody that fucking hyped that you cheer at a screen.
That was a high, the likes of which I was not ready for.
Yeah.
For the life of me, I was.
And
not
it really
ready
was.
For
It was the fan service moment to end all fan service moments because every time that someone has done fan service since that moment, people have been dissing on it now.
Yeah.
It literally made doing fan servicey things a bad thing.
And it's because, here's the thing. Because with that, it felt genuine, where with everything else, it feels tacked on.
Yeah.
It feels like it doesn't feel genuine. It doesn't feel earned.
Well, it'll never hit that same level ever again either. So
I don't think it will.
People are just stop. It worked for that, but now you're just trying to do it just because you don't have any better ideas for your movie.
Exactly.
So everybody's just stop. We had the fan service we wanted. You're not going to hit the note again.
That's true.
And that's just such a great feeling and a great reaction. And I'd love to see it come back. I don't know if it's going to. We might be, kind of in the end, days of this kind of stuff, which is not to say everybody watches YouTube trailers before they go see a movie and everything, but I think especially because you can pick your own seats now, which while convenient is kind of killing the big screen movie trailer. That is kind of an unfortunate thing, and I like to see it come back because it really is a cool experience and has created, I know it sounds silly, but like a lot of fun memories watching a trailer on the big screen with a whole bunch of strangers and just having a good time. So I like to see that come back. Maybe it won't, but at the very least, there's some record here, and probably not just me, I'm sure others, but definitely records of people saying, hey, there was a time when people would watch these on the big screen and just really soak in the excitement and the surprise of whatever was coming, whether it was good or bad. We all had a reaction to it, and it was a fun reaction. We all kind of experienced it together. With that said, am I totally off on this? Do you feel like YouTube is not killing trailers and has actually made trailers so much better and so much more convenient that you can check them out? Or do you feel like trailers are just so boring now, whether it's on the big screen, the small screen, it's just totally obliterated because either there's no good ideas anymore, they're just not advertising them right? Or are you somewhere in between where you feel like, yeah, some things have changed, but it's not that bad. I'm probably making too big a deal out of this and it's not worth it, but it's still a little interesting talking about, interesting. Let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you next time.
I think it's somewhere in the middle.
I think so too.
I think YouTube's definitely detracting from that experience of trailers, but
I get that feeling too.
If it was just killing them and making them pointless, then we wouldn't react to them all the time,
Well, yeah, and the thing is, this is one of the reasons why, for some trailers, I have refused to do a reaction to it until I see it in theater, until I see the trailer itself in theaters, because there's some things because there's some that you haven't been interested in, and it's also for films that it's like sequels that you haven't seen the original, like Inside Out. So that's the reason why the Inside Out 2 trailer, we haven't really done any reaction to it, because neither Nick nor Kate has seen Inside Out 1.
I'm not wanting to watch the Godzilla trailers because I've still not watched a single Godzilla movie, so I have no horse in the race,
And that's fair. And all in all, though, is YouTube killing trailers? I think it is changing the way people view trailers as a whole. I think that there are people out there who watch reactions because they want to have that feeling of how it used to be in the movie theater. They want that, because I remember the Beetlejuice trailer and that aura of excitement that you and Kate had. And just me also experiencing, because I knew what it was, but I hadn't seen the trailer. You all didn't know what it was, and you hadn't seen the trailer. So you got me, who knew what the title of it was, my mind's eye of it, and then you're all's raw, unfiltered, just wait a minute, Lydia? And then all of a sudden, just the juice is loose. It's yes, so good. And yeah, I
was trying to think of any dope trailer moments I've had in the theaters, and I know there was at least one time where a lot of people were just yo, at something, but I can't remember what it was at this point. But to be honest, the idea of what Doug is talking about is really cool to me, but my personal experience with seeing trailers in theaters is actually not really that crowd experience, because there's been infinitely more times where everyone has just sat silently through all of the trailers than times when people have actually had any audible reaction to the trailers together as a crowd. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's
there
not
it
just
is.
me.
So yeah, here they are, 16 years ago. These were this is the one here where the guy, remember we talked about Doug talked about the Cloverfield trailer? Mm-hmm. This was the first one that was ever posted. And basically, it basically is just, it didn't have Cloverfield. It just had 1/1808. And the first, that was all it was. And then later on, boom, it just, everything was shown, everything was brought out later. It's the movie's called Cloverfield. Oh, it's a monster movie. Here's when here's what you all can expect from it, and this and that. And I miss surprises like that. But at the same time, this is just the way the internet works, man. Instantaneous. Like everything has to be instant. Like everything instant gratification. That's what we live in right now. And I hate the fact that that's what it is, but there's not much that can be said except for just this is how the paradigm is moving forward, and we have to adapt with it, and so does Doug, and so does everyone else out there. But anyway, I got nothing else to say. I mean,
Can't stop the train of progress.
Sad to say, but you can't. But anyway, this was the Nostalgia Critic, or Doug Walker, talking about, has YouTube killed trailers? Or is YouTube killing trailers? I don't think it's killing trailers. I think it's changing the way we watch trailers, but it's definitely doing away with how trailers used to be absorbed. It's definitely doing that. It 100% is. But hey, what do you all think? Let us know in the comments down below. And yeah, I guess until next time, everyone. Signing off. I'm Nate.
I am Nick.
Y'all be good people. Take care. Peace.